What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your $1,400 third stimulus check update. Major developments have been happening with the third stimulus check package as the different subcommittees that are writing the actual final bill right now of the third stimulus check package are releasing parts of it to us, the public, giving us the critical details of who will get checks, who won't, how much will they be. What about these $3,000 checks for children or families with children? I got all the new details for you guys in this video. And we're going to hear directly from the White House in this video. So we got a lot to cover, a lot of answers, a lot of questions being answered as we get the details of the third stimulus check final bill as they go to vote on it and pass it for the final time. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on details and upcoming videos on the third stimulus check, as well as the other buckets of money we cover on this channel, such as mortgage and rental assistance, possible student loan forgiveness anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000, Social Security increases of $200 per month, as well as the $3,000 stimulus checks that are in this stimulus package for children. And yeah, there's just all sorts of different buckets of money that we cover here on this channel. And if you can, give this video a like. It really helps out our channel, and let's jump right in. Last night and this morning, House Democrats are unveiling parts of the third stimulus check package with the actual language and the actual details of what will be in the third stimulus check package. So there's 12 different subcommittees writing 12 different parts of the bill. Remember the second stimulus check package, when that passed, that bill was like 5,500 pages. So they have 12 different groups of people in Congress or their aides working on writing this third stimulus check package. And the different groups of the subcommittees are releasing this information to us now. So we're getting details of what will be in the third stimulus check package, income requirements, the minimum wage, the $3,000 stimulus checks for children or families with children, the unemployment. We're getting all the details right now. As you can see here, House Democrats on Monday unveiled the draft legislation for key parts of the coronavirus relief package, aka the third stimulus check package, which committees are expected to advance on later this week. The measures would be put together for the $1.9 trillion stimulus check package proposed by Biden that they plan on passing without Republican support through the reconciliation process. So the Democrats are able to pass this package completely on their own without a single Republican vote and just one of these cards. Among the measures expected to be approved at the committee level later this week is an increase in the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour by 2025, which the Congressional Budget Office estimated on Monday would lift 900,000 people out of poverty, but will potentially lose 1.4 million jobs with the minimum wage being higher. Now, this was actually a shocking turn of events because just a day or two ago, President Biden said that it would not be in the third stimulus check package because, well, there wasn't support for it. And the subcommittee who was writing the legislation on that part of the bill included the $15 an hour minimum wage in the third stimulus check package. On screen here, you could see how the minimum wage would go up per year, reaching $15 an hour by the year 2025, and 2026 and 27 for tipped workers, basically restaurant servers mainly, would eventually be at $15 an hour also plus tips. It does not go up to $15 an hour immediately, but it goes up by $2.25 the first year and then $1.50 for most years, and then $1 after that per year. So it goes about $1 to $2 up per year until 2025. So the subcommittee that wrote the bill portion that is included this, they have included the $15 an hour minimum wage into the bill. That has to be voted on by the subcommittee. Basically, that group will vote on it. The voting for the subcommittees is starting today. So as of right now, the $15 an hour minimum wage will be included in the third stimulus check package. However, as these details are coming out now from the subcommittees, they're writing it right now and they're voting on it literally almost in the exact same day. In some cases, the exact same day. This can still be changed. This is how it is at the moment. I will be keeping you updated with this change as well as the other changes, which we're going to go over right now. Another really big one that is going to be included in the $1,400 third stimulus check package is the monthly cash payments to families with children. This is a really, really big one that is included in the third stimulus check package. As you can see here, this part of the bill, another different bucket of money for basically families with children, will provide a $300 monthly stimulus check for children ages 5 and under, and $250 for children ages 6 through 17 per child. So basically, children ages 6 through 17. So basically, this would provide a monthly stimulus check of for children ages 6 through 17, $250 per month for a total of $3,000 per child for and basically it goes to the parents, but it's not the child that actually gets the check, but it would probably end up going to the parents. Would be $250 per month for ages 6 through 17, $3,000 per year for a total there, and $3,600 for ages 5 and under, or $300 per month. And the income limit on this child tax credit, which is turning into a monthly stimulus checks, will be individuals making $75,000. Underneath that will get the full amount, and couples making $150,000 underneath that will get the full amount also. It will phase out after that. And this is very similar to the first and second stimulus check, which brings me to the next really good set of news on the third stimulus check is that the income limits are basically the best case scenario that we could have had. We've had the Republicans wanted to lower the income limits for the third stimulus check down to starting as low as $40,000 for an individual, up to $50,000 would get no check at all after that point. Just yesterday, we see Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen saying, well, I think we should do it up to $60,000. Well, the subcommittee that wrote the bill basically gave us the best case scenario. And that is that anybody up to $75,000 will get the full stimulus check for the third stimulus check, and it will decrease down after. We don't know the details of how quickly it will decrease, but they said it will decrease faster now for over 75,000. The reason for that probably is because the checks are larger this time. $1,400 for adults, $1,400 for all children, and $1,400 for dependents. I don't know the details yet on if the adult dependents, first of all, it's pretty certain, and again, we can't really say that any of this is 100% yet because they're writing the bills and then they're voting on it on the subcommittee level. Then it gets put together as a bill, and they're voting on it on the subcommittee level literally like today in some of the subcommittees. So these details can change a little bit, but mostly what we're seeing right now from the outline of the bill that they've gave us will probably be what will end up in the final bill. There could be some changes here or there based on what they think they can get the votes on. The important part here is that they have to get all the Democrats to vote on it, especially in the Senate. They need every single Democrat in the Senate to vote on it, 50 Democrats, and then the tiebreaker will go to Vice President Kamala Harris for the 51st vote, which will trigger the reconciliation process to complete. That reconciliation process, the first part of that was already passed, and exactly that happened. All 50 Democrats voted yes to it in the Senate, and then the 51st vote went to Vice President Kamala Harris. And that is exactly what needs to happen again. So basically, the income limits will be 75,000 under, double that for a couple. And it'll be decreased from 75,000 to 99,000 for a single, double that for a couple. And at $99,000, it'll shut off. So if you make $100,000 as a individual, no stimulus check. There might be a provision in there for a head of household to possibly get more. I do not know the details on that yet either. I will keep you updated as we get more information about this bill. In the past bills, the head of household was actually able to go higher I believe it was $112,500. So I will keep you updated as that detail comes out also. Next, let's go directly to the White House. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki answering questions on the third stimulus check package.
Just a couple of things for you all at the top. The president and his entire administration are continuing to engage closely with leaders on Capitol Hill about the need to act quickly on the American Rescue Plan so we can finish the job of getting $2,000 checks out to Americans, so we can get more vaccines in the arms of Americans, so we can get economic relief to families facing eviction or food insecurity, and so we can help reopen schools safely. We're encouraged that both Speaker Pelosi and Majority Leader Schumer are in full agreement about the need to move swiftly on the president's proposal, and the committee markups we'll see throughout the week are evidence of Congress acting on that expeditiously. Our expectation is that this week's House markups will track closely with what the president has proposed, but there will, of course, be adjustments to strengthen the bill and tweaks as a result of the legislative process, which he's quite familiar with, having served there for 36 years, which is exactly how the process is supposed to work. We're also going to continue to make the case directly to the American people about the urgency of getting this package across the finish line, including through national and local TV and radio interviews, engagement with hundreds of mayors and county elected officials, consultations with stakeholders across the political spectrum, from labor and rural leaders to the faith community. Here's a quick overview, a number of you have asked about this, of the sense of the scope of our efforts. Over a dozen senior administration officials have conducted over 100 national TV, radio, and podcast interviews to discuss the American Rescue Plan. We've done over 30 local TV interviews in states ranging from Nevada to Louisiana to Pennsylvania. In the last week alone, our legislative affairs team had done more than 300 calls with members and staff on the Hill, including 40 calls with Republicans or bipartisan groups. And you can expect that the president will engage throughout the course of this week with a range of stakeholders, including business leaders, mayors and governors. And as we've discussed before, this message is resonating. Poll after poll show a bipartisan majority of the American people in support of the president's plan. A couple of other quick updates for all of you. Many folks likely noticed, if you all watched the Super Bowl, the President and the First Lady yesterday appeared in a PSA that aired during the pregame show, thanking healthcare workers and addressing the importance of continuing to wear masks and getting vaccinations when it's your turn. This is a good example of how you can expect the White House in the coming months to reach out with critical public health messaging as part of an education campaign, meeting Americans where they are, on their couches, watching the Super Bowl for yesterday, and communicating about the important mitigation steps people can take. Many of you also know, last night during the Super Bowl, President Biden called service members to thank them for their courage, dedication, and service to our nation. He first called troops with Resolute Support Mission in Kabul, and then the USS Nimitz. He then shared via ship broadcasts and message to the nearly 5,000 sailors and Marines who comprise the USS Nimitz crew.
Right. So you mentioned that there will be adjustments, or there could be adjustments to the ARP. One component of that was really important as far as the campaign promise was the $15 minimum wage. The president has already signaled that that may not make it into the full package. How important is that measure still to the White House, and how will you get it done? And then also the other thing that came up this weekend is looking at tweaking the level of who gets the stimulus checks. And Janet Yellen mentioned 60,000. Can you explain who gets left out, right? You know, if you get the 60, if you know, who is between the 60,000 and the 75,000?
Real quick, I want to kind of comment on that about the $15 an hour minimum wage. Here's what I think could happen. If the $15 an hour minimum wage, which as I have here on the screen, if this $15 an hour minimum wage does not get passed in the third stimulus check package, what will then probably happen is they will try to pass this through a standalone bill. Now, the standalone bill will probably not get any Republican support at all, so they would have to pass it through the reconciliation process. If that doesn't happen, or they don't want to do that through the reconciliation process, what I think they will do then is come to a compromise raising of the minimum wage with Republicans, enough to get Republican support. So maybe they would take 10 years to raise it. Maybe they'll raise it $1 per year for the next 7 to 8 years so that it would get to $15 an hour, but it would take longer. Or maybe they would decide to cap it at $12 an hour and get there over the course of 5 to 7 years or something like that. But as of right now, this is in the third stimulus check package. If it makes it all the way to the finish line, well, I'll keep you updated on that. But if they don't make it all the way to the finish line, they'll try to pass it as a standalone bill. And if they can't pass it there either, I think they'll then do a compromise bill that'll probably mean minimum wage raise, but maybe not as much.
If you get the 60, if who is between the 60,000 and the 75,000?
Sure. Well, in the first question, the president remains firmly committed to raising the minimum wage to $15. That's why he put it in his first legislative proposal, and he believes that any American who is working a full-time job trying to make ends meet should not be at the poverty level, and it's important to him that the minimum wage is raised. He was referring this weekend to, as you noted in your question, the parliamentary process. Obviously, it's the most likely path at this point is through a reconciliation process. There is a parliamentarian who will make decisions about what can end up in a final package. And that was certainly what he was referencing in his comments. In terms of what the options are, we'll see what the parliamentarian decides, and then we'll see what additional options are, but we're getting a little ahead of where we are at this point in the process. I'm sure we can continue to have a discussion about it in here. And then say your second question one more time.
60,000.
Sure. Well, one of the pieces that the president has talked about is his openness to engaging and having a discussion about what is called, kind of the unofficially called, I guess, the scale up, right? So his proposal, as you know, had proposed $1,400 checks to make the $2,000 whole. He had proposed kind of a threshold. There's a discussion right now about what that threshold will look like. Conclusion hasn't been finalized. That will be worked through Congress. But either way, his bottom line is that families making $275,000, $300,000 a year may not be the most in need of checks at this point in time. But whatever the threshold is, there will be a scale up. So his view is that a nurse, a teacher, a firefighter who's making $60,000 shouldn't be left without any support or relief either. It's just a question of sort of where the scale up looks like, what it looks like in a final package. But it's still being negotiated at this point in time.
Jen, if I could just ask you on the $15, it doesn't make it much harder to get it through if you don't attach it to this COVID relief bill? I mean, does that really, and then the CBO is saying that in fact, if you did go through with it, that it would lead to a 0.9% reduction in the number of jobs.
Well, I heard about the CBO score as I was walking out here, so I haven't talked with our economic team about that specifically. And at this point in time, it's still working its way through the process in Congress, and the parliamentarian still has to make a determination about what will be in a final package. I promised I'd go to you first.
Thanks, Jen.
Next, I should say. Go ahead.
You.
So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. We're going to have an exciting next 24 to 48 hours or so. I will be keeping you updated as we get more details of the third stimulus check package and they start to pass it in the subcommittees, and then we get the final details of what will be in the third stimulus check package. So make sure you subscribe down below, click the bell icon so you get notifications when we go live for, well, most videos. New videos come out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., 8 p.m., and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't miss a video because there's a lot of good details coming out. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA. I have dozens of students that have replaced their 9-to-5 income selling products on Amazon, and I teach them how to do that. Click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.